So first and foremost, two shout outs. First one to my coach who gave me a call and gave me a little bit of a kick in the rudest Maximus for going rogue on the Hustler's Diaries. Thank you, Mr. Smee. For everyone else, we still here writing and penning the stories as we take this journey. So thanks for sticking with me. Secondly, big ups to Cora. I spent a little bit of a moment with her this morning. So one, getting me and Zanki out the house, but two, just spending good time talking through it again and thinking through it. And what I learned from breakfast is that there's a lot of us that are currently in full-time employment, doing things that we must do to get the right kind of skills. But it's only a matter of time till we are released on this nation to rebuild it. I honestly believe that when the dust has settled, there's a lot of us that are called to be entrepreneurs, to be builders of this country that are going to need to have figured it out and emerge and start businesses and start enterprises that are beginning to make the change. So I know the Hustler's Diary is critical. And I know it's important for you and I to have these conversations and crack the code because the world is waiting on us to arrive. There are two things I want to chat about, but I'm going to split them into two vlogs just to make it easier. The first one is I want to go back to the financial model. And I have absolute clarity about this. And I don't know any other way. So if you figured out another way, let me know. But this is what I believe. As we go and pursue purpose in whatever shape and form, it is imperative that we have the financial model figured out. Now, when I talk about financial model, there's really two elements I'm talking about. I'm talking about the domestic financial model, as in to live every month in your family, you've got expenses. So you've got to figure out what that number is, what that financial freedom figure is, whether you get that money through passive income or through other ways. But it is imperative that even as you pursue your dreams, there is a way in which income continues to come to the household so as to free you up to go and do the things that you need to do. And we know full well that starting a business takes a little bit of a moment. The other side of the coin is the financial model of the business. And some of us are called to start social justice projects. But even the social justice project, whatever entrepreneurial venture, has to have its own financial model. Even if you're going out on a philanthropic limb, we've got to crack our heads and minds around what is the financial model that's going to keep that enterprise sustainable so that we can serve the people that we need to serve. Both sides of the same coin. If you don't have the domestic financial model right, trust me, it's only a matter of time till you are hemorrhaging. And regardless of how amazing things you're doing, you're going to need to really pull back. But in the same way, if you don't have the business financial model in place for whatever venture you're doing, it's only a matter of time that it becomes unsustainable. And you're going to have to shut that thing down. And by the time you've done that, so many people have become dependent on it. I don't know how it works, but we've got to crack the code. And the part that I'm currently focusing on personally is the domestic financial model, because I believe that is a place you need to start if you can afford to. So start there, put that in place, and then by all means run and figure out the business side and putting that model in place. In a previous blog, I spoke about how one of the elements in terms of us making sure that the domestic piece is in place is through passive income and through property. That's one of the ways. A thing you want to consider really on that front is around how do you buy yourself time? So currently we work 160, 180 hours a week to get an X amount, let's say 20,000 Rand. And that's what you need domestically. One of the things you need to start doing is perhaps getting a little bit clever on how you can still get that 20,000 Rand, however, only work 1 day a week. What that does is it increases your return on time. Then the remaining 4 days, you go ahead and focus on the business side. When you do that, you're still meeting your obligations on the domestic financial model and allowing you and buying yourself time to go look at the business financial model. I don't know if that makes sense or that's like being complicated. But I think the moral of the story is, dear entrepreneur, as we step out and fulfill the things that we are called to do, we can no longer afford to do it on a whim, just driven by passion only. We've got to be strategic. And one of the most fundamental strategic elements is the financial model, both domestic as well as business. Now, my question to you is, what financial model are you pursuing? And I'd love it if you can share and educate the rest of us, because we've got to figure it out and we've got to get it right, because we need healthy homes while we change the world. But we also need sustainable enterprises that can endure and be able to make a significant impact. Yeah, trying to figure that out and break the code. And personally, that's what the last bit of this year is, and most certainly what a good part of 2018 is going to be about. Just getting the financial model on both the domestic as well as the business side so locked down that by the time I start running with the things that I need to do, there's no stopping me. So please share, what are you doing?